This is At Home with Miss Joan. Today it's kind of rainy, they're giving rainy weather, and I thought that I'd make us some Mexican cornbread and also some what I call white bean chili, or some people call it chicken chili. So I'm going to start out making some Mexican cornbread. I got this recipe from my mama's sister Aunt Rabbit when I was just a teenager. Okay, it calls for 1.5 cups of cornmeal and 1/2 cup of flour. Alright, and 1/2 cup of oil. And after that, a chopped onion. Well, I've already told you I keep chopped onions. They don't last just a few days around here, so they don't have time to get old. But here's my chopped onions. Onion starts with an O, and this bowl is orange, and it starts with an O. So that's how we remember. Don't put anything in the orange bowl except onions. And that way, all of our dishes don't taste like onions. We like a lot of onions in our Mexican cornbread. And then I'm going to put a cup of grated cheese. Now, some people like more cheese. That's just up to you. The cheesier the better in my book. All right, this is a 1/2 cup, so a 1/2 and a whole. And this is a sharp cheddar right here, but to be honest, I just use whatever we got. And I catch myself saying, to be honest, all the time. And I told my daughter, I said, I guess that means that the rest of the time I'm not honest. I don't know. That's just a word that I say all the time, phrase. Then I'm going to put it calls for a can of cream corn. But since I already canned some corn this summer, I'm going to put it in here. But it's the same as a can of cream corn. And it calls for a teaspoon and 1/2 of sugar. There it is. There's a teaspoon and a 1/2. And 2 eggs. Alright. I got one of them broke up. Here's the other one. And my grease, my 2 iron skillets are getting hot. I wished I had showed you this. I just put some, I put bacon grease in there, and then I took a little bit of my cornmeal and sprinkled in there, and I let it brown a little bit. And that's what's going to season the skillet and hopefully make it where the cornbread don't stick. But you see, I did that, and that's just right. Another egg going in. Okay, now to jazz it up and give it that hot, hot flavor, we're going to add some jalapenos, some green chilies, and we're going to add some bell peppers. What I do when I'm making this is I just put in it what I've got. If all we've got is green chilies, and that's all I put in it, it's good with green chilies and onions, or it's good with all three, which is some green chilies, jalapenos, I say to taste, because those are hot, and then some chopped bell peppers. Okay, let's see. Here is my diced jalapenos. I like to put a little of that juice in there too. You know this is going to be hot, right? Oh, I'm putting in a couple of tablespoons. Stirred it up. And then we like green chilies in ours. So I already had these froze, so I'm using up. So I get another bowl back out of the freezer. My green chilies. And then I'll use a few more out of this new can. It's a small can. It says 4 ounces. Just get a few of them. See, really it's a basic cornbread recipe of which you add onions, corn, cheese, and what I call 3 greens, bell pepper, chilies, and jalapenos. See it coming together right there? Now, I'm going to scoot over here and get my bell peppers. My friend is staying with me, Gloria. And, oh, those are perfect. Oh, you're good. Now, look here. She has cut me up some perfect green peppers to put in here. This is going to be so good to go with our what I call white bean chili or chicken chili. Alrighty. Now, depending on how thick it is, you can put a little milk in it to get it to the consistency that you want. Because I've got all my ingredients in right now: meal, flour, oil, onions, sharp cheese, cream style corn, sugar, eggs, and then the jalapenos, green chilies, bell pepper, and then add enough milk to get it to the consistency that you want. This is canned milk that I keep in the freezer. That's all that is. Now, this usually makes 2 cornbread skillets, the way we divide it out. Plus, we like it kind of thin and crunchy. You know, preacher, thin and crunchy biscuits, thin and crunchy cornbread. So here we go. I'm going to spread that out a little bit better. here, you have to back up this tab. I'm gonna spread it out. It'll start rising. All right, it did. It made 2 skillets of this. Now, I'm gonna throw this in the oven at 400 and let it cook for 40 to 45 minutes. Whew. My arms is getting where they don't want to pick up an iron skillet, but here they go. I'm gonna set a clock, and then I'm gonna start working on the chili. 40 minutes, okay? All right, we'll see what that turns out like, folks. And we're gonna start on the white bean or the chicken chili. Now, it don't take me but a minute to get done, and I'll tell you why. Remember when, if you watched my how to make chicken dressing recipe, I told you that I've always got a big chicken that I cooked in the crock pot, cooled, and freeze it in my freezer. I like that because it helps me make a lot of dishes that I can make in a minute, and this chicken chili or white bean chili is one of them. So what I done was I went to my freezer and I thawed out some of my chicken that I'd cooked, and I've already chopped it up here, and then I've got the broth, and that goes in the chili. And then, this morning when I first got up, I took this little cheap bag of navy beans right here, and I put them in my crock pot, just covered them with water. Now you can cover them and cook them with this chicken broth if you want to. That's even richer for your chili. But I covered them this morning and I got them cooking, and I put them in here, and they cooked about 4 hours with me not paying any attention to them. And I cooked my onion already in there, see? So it's beans and onions cooked together. So this is ready, really, right now, for me to just spice it up and turn it from just a pot of beans, which would be great with a pan of cornbread, into a white bean chicken chili. Okay, so I got my beans and my onions, and they're done and ready, and it was a little 1 pound bag is what I'm doing. And then I'm going to add to it my chicken. Now, I'm not really, depends on how much you want to make, but I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. I should have got out a measuring cup, I forgot. Look, camera lady. See, I'm just making it where, see all the chicken? Just kind of, what would you say that is? Probably about, 2 cups of chicken. How about that? I always add some more. And then, that's really the foundation of this dish. And then you just add a whole lot of spices. No, there's one more foundation, and it's corn. And this calls for the white whole kernel corn. That's kind of hard to find sometimes, that little white nibbly corn. So usually I just put a can of this yellow whole kernel corn. But today I'm going to again put in some more of my corn that we can, which is kind of like a nibbly corn. So I'm adding it, so it will be really white. So if you want to look over in here, Jordan, there we go. See how white it is? This is why some people just call it white chili. There we go. So there's a pint of that, which is a little more than if you'd put a can of this in here. So you probably want to put 2 cans of the bulk kind. Now we're going to start spicing it up. Now we got beans and onions and chicken and corn. All right, let me look at the spices right quick. Well, green chilies, another small can of green chilies is going in here. That's going to be good in here. And then we're going to put oregano. It takes a lot of the spices. Teaspoon. I am going to halfway measure this one. Here's my oregano. I'm sprinkling it in here. And then I'm going to put chili powder, and that means to taste, but I'm going to start out with a teaspoon of chili powder sprinkled in here. Now, I think somebody told me when I first learned how to make this, if they make a white pepper or a white pepper that you can put in here, so it would really be all white when you get through. But me, I'm just putting in chili pepper. And then where is my hot sauce? I told you this little dish was spicy, didn't I? To taste. So here we go. You see me slicing it in there. Usually I just leave it sitting out on the stove. Preacher wants some more hot sauce, so he can add it after he dips it out into the bowl. Okay, and then we're going to put some salt and pepper, which goes in about every dish you ever thought about making. So I'm just shaking it in here. I would say that might have been about half a teaspoon. Now look at this, that changed right here. From, see, all of our ingredients showing up here. And then I'm gonna put the rest of this can of green chilies in it. Alrighty, beans. Now, you see how thick it is? Well, to make it this consistency of a chili or more, not this thick, that's where the chicken broth comes in play. Just pour it in there, see? And stir it, see how? Now, like I said, I could have cooked these beans in this, and I do sometimes, but this morning I didn't. So I'm adding chicken broth. You can buy chicken broth, but look at that. It's really just a dish that you can just stir up. I used to be scared to death of it, and you don't have to be. Cumin, it also calls for cumin, and it's also a teaspoon. I like this one, everything's a teaspoon. So I'm going to shake that in here. Make sure I got cumin. I have messed up before. Put the wrong thing. Alrighty. Okay. Minced garlic. Here we go. I'm going to get another teaspoon of minced garlic. Here it is. Just this is just a Great Value brand. I'll put a teaspoon of minced garlic. And then I use the taste of it and I add a little garlic salt. I told you it was spicy, didn't I? Let me see if I have a clean spoon. Yeah, you can stand a little garlic salt. There we go. The main thing is all your spices. So I'll turn them around here where you can see them. I just use this oregano leaves. You can use oregano, ground oregano, it won't matter. There we go. See what I mean? It's just drag down a bunch of spices, put in it. And of course the hot sauce. I can already tell Preacher wants some more hot sauce in here. So you put that Mexican cornbread with this white bean chicken chili, and you have you a spicy little supper. So while the rain is pouring down, this is what we're going to be eating here at the Pollard house. Now, this really just needs to simmer on the stove for a little while because the beans are cooked, the onions are cooked in them, so everything's cooked. You just want to put it on low or medium and let it cook just a little bit so all these spices that we put in here just kind of meld together. Or you can use your crock pot if you want to. I hope you enjoyed this Mexican cornbread and a little white bean chili recipe. That's what we're going to have here at the Pollard house tonight at home with Miss Joan.